Oh, and welcome to the What the Fork Monarchs preview show. Myself, Graham Munsey, joined by Dave Howe, as we look ahead to another massive weekend action for the Monarchs. Friday night, it's the Scunthorpe Scorpions at Camp Armadale. We hear from Monarchs captain Sam Masters, we hear from Scunthorpe's Connor Coles, and of course, we'll delve into Mike Hunter's archives. It's a blast from the past, this time from 2011. Dave, just before we start on the Scunthorpe match, we'll just very touch, of course, a momentous day for the Monarchs, the announcement that I'm sure everyone watching this will have seen already. We'll touch on that probably more so on Friday and the Friday focus. Obviously, we're here today to talk about Scunthorpe's visit on Friday night. But very briefly, fantastic news, and if we can pull this off, what a great opportunity for the Monarchs.
Yeah, it was brilliant news today, and probably what we've been waiting on since the announcement a couple of weeks ago about Armadale. In the last year, so a lot of work still to go, but yeah, as you say, it was a fantastic opportunity, and hopefully we can pull it off. But as you say, we'll talk about that more over the next few months. There'll be lots of things to get involved in that, I'm sure.
Exactly, more to come for that in the future, but just now we'll focus on what's just as important for the Monarchs' point of view for 2022, and that's those playoff chasing hopes. And last Friday we spoke about how big a match it was when Oxford came, one of the teams that were challenging the Monarchs for that sixth place. There's a team coming up on Friday that's even closer to us. I think they're, as we sit here recording this, are on the same amount of points as the Monarchs, albeit Monarchs slightly ahead on points difference. So another huge match, Dave, and minimum from this weekend is 3 points on Friday night.
Massive, yeah. We can't get, just as last weekend, we can't give anything away at home. We talked about Oxford, no home matches left, so we win the remainder of our home matches. We will finish above Oxford. Scunthorpe have still got a couple of opportunities, but they'll be seeing, they know Friday night is the night where they can do, not just get away points, they can do damage to us. So from our perspective, 3 points on Friday, make sure we're there, we're solid, we're taking those points on, giving nothing away. And then we get the chance to go to Scunthorpe on Sunday with a free hit and potentially to take an even bigger step into those playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, in football parlance, Dave, it'll be a 6-pointer on Friday night, although in Speedway it could be a 7-pointer, a 6-pointer, a 4-pointer, a 2-pointer, such as the various rules. But absolutely crucial that the Monarchs maintain that recent good run at home and enabling that, hopefully enabling that some more as the return, as we speak, what we're expected a return to 1-7. James and Lassie both due back on Friday. Not gonna lie, Dave, it adds a little bit of nerve, doesn't it? Riders coming back for injury. James, a pretty heavy knock. He's been out for longer. Lassie, we don't know how he returns from injury and was just starting to find his feet. So there's no pressure on these guys coming back, but we do kind of need them to hit the ground running.
Especially with two of them in the one night. Yeah, you're 100% right there, Graham. And anything can happen. It wouldn't be the first time you see someone in the breakdown in their first race back. Others, they come back and it's like they've never been away, and they're winning races galore. So hopefully the latter. But for the Monarchs, it's just great to be back to a 7-man team. We're not going to have reserves taking 11 rides between them, and lots of pressure on both reserves. We saw it last week where unfortunately it just wasn't Lee Complin's night, and but Jacob Hook did step up to the mark and took on that mantle of the number one reserve. So hopefully James will come back up and running and be part of a winning team, get us on the way. But great to have them back.
Good to see James was out having a practice spin last weekend, so obviously no ill effects from that. Lastly, I don't know if he's been back on the bike back home with that at all yet, actually. I'll maybe ask him when I see him on Friday. But yeah, good to see them both back, as you say, and back to 1-7. And it just eases the pressure that little bit. I guess for everyone, you're not worried about two on the trots, you're not worrying about tactical manoeuvres, so it's easier from the management point of view, right down to the riders, knowing that they've got that bit more time, theoretically, they can plan their night out, even down to a mechanical side. 2 more riders means a few more mechanics in the pit, so if something goes wrong for someone else, there's more guys there to help and stuff. It takes the pressure off everyone, and it's a 7-man team for a reason, and it'll be good finally after what's been 6 weeks on the calendar, I think, since we last saw that. But we all know, as the Monarchs go, so do Sam and Josh. We spoke on it on Friday night, just how absolutely imperious they were last Friday, and you know, that Heat 13 are all living the memory. And one actually that I always say, anyone that watches Speedway on video or on TV, get yourself trackside, because the video was great, but it does not do the speed those guys were doing into those corners justice whatsoever, and the skill involved. And you know, more of the same will be required on Friday. That's the Monarchs base comes from those two, and tough this Friday. Ryan Douglas, I think, is second only to Sam in the championship averages for 2022, just for matches run this year. So he's in great form. He's a guy both Sam and Josh will know well. Obviously, Sam rides one for Wolves, and both of them ride with Ryan in Poland. So not going to be easy on Friday night from that point of view either.
No, definitely not. I mean, as you say, they've been the gold standard all season, and we've talked about it before, being potentially relying on them and needing that Heat 13 and 15-5-1. So it'd be nice for them to, with a full 7-man team, for us not to need that. But as you say, Ryan Douglas has been excellent this season. He's having best season ever. I mean, he was excellent over the winter in Australia as well. Having a great season. We've got James Wright and Theo Piper in as guests. They're both guys with lots and lots of laps around Armadale as we talk. And even Simon Lambert's been known to have a few good nights as well. So there's never an easy match, and it'll be another test. And as we said already, it's crucial for them. It's crucial for them. Crucial for us. Both teams desperate to win the playoff. So hopefully that cracking night eraser. Yep,
crucial as Dave says, and that's not missed by the team either. Certainly Sam Masters was well aware of that when I caught up with him to speak about the matches ahead. So Sam, we got there in the end against Oxford. 3 points, exactly what we needed. We know we can't really afford any slip-ups at home. It was tough for the guys to start with, but you and Josh came through in the end.
Yeah, it's last week decided I don't like them too much, but we're getting on top of most of them. So it was good meeting. I'm sure it was good for the fans as well. It was quite close. I will admit, I think Oxford had a bit of bad luck there with them missing the 2 minutes a couple of times, but that's part of it. And in the end, we got the win. They leave with the point, but they're a strong team, so we can't complain.
And then talk me through that Heat 13. It looked like obviously Josh on the outside, everyone seemed to be worried about him, so you were just using him as a foil to cut the inside as they were trying to block his every move.
Yeah, I missed the start big time, and I was at the back, and I had one option because they were all dicing up the front and just plugged the curb, and on the third lap I got in front somehow, and it was all action from where I was sitting for sure. I wasn't getting too much amongst it, but I was just plugging around the inside, and bike was working good, so it made life easy.
Yep. And of course Oxford this week was crucial. They're one of the teams that are in that hunt for the last playoff place. Scunthorpe next week the same, so job one is 3 points next Friday.
Yeah, and it'd be good to try and win one of the away ones at least if we can, so that's what we're going for. Definitely we're aiming for the playoffs, and we've got a good team. I think once everyone finds their feet, we've still got 2 new guys in the team, as you know, and I think once we get to the playoffs, they'll be like on a bit of a roll. Yeah, and obviously, as we speak here, Lassie and James both expected back next week. It'll be really good to get back to a 1-7. It takes a bit of pressure off everyone else, and pending them obviously being fit enough to come back, it's good to get back to the full team and almost start the season again for those guys. Yeah, the atmosphere isn't the same when you've got like a few guys, guests and that. They're all good dudes, but it's not your normal 1-7, and it's the atmosphere in the pits is really good when you've got your whole 1-7, and we all can work together. So it'd be nice to have them back. Hopefully they can hit the ground running.
And then looking at the Scunny team, it's not one that maybe travels too well here, but Dougie's in there. You ride with him at Wolves in Poland. He's flying everywhere this year. Jake Allen, we don't know what he can do. Simon Lambert, Jordan Palin. Again, we know nothing can be taken for granted, and it's another one where the guys have got to step up and do their job.
Yeah, you can't underestimate anyone really, and they've got a really good team. And as you know, when you've got a good 1-5, it's meetings are tight. So it's going to be tough.
But of course, that aim, spoke about it all season, it's still the same. We're in a cup semi, we're in a playoff place, everyone's sticking over the way we want it to be.
Yeah, we're doing all right really, we can't complain, so keep going like that and keep enjoying it and see where we end up at the end.
But Dave, Sam Masters there, he knows what jobs he's done, and you've touched on it there, Scunthorpe as well. We've just spoken about the Monarchs, hopefully, and all being well, being back to 1-7. It's a reverse for Scunthorpe. Looks like quite a lengthy spell on the sidelines coming up for both Jake Allen. I don't even know where or how he crashed. I hadn't noticed, and then it wasn't until I seen the press release for Sheffield's match on Monday saying that that he is it broken bones in his wrist, I think. I believe Terry Arno has broken his thumb or broken his hand, so he'll be out for a spell as well. So we talk about experienced campaigners coming in, doesn't get much more experience than Theo Piper and James Wright, and it's kind of hard to gauge what that will do to the Scunthorpe team. I mean, Terry Arno is an absolute enigma. He's a guy you can watch on a Saturday night, go out and win heats and World Cup matches, and be Grand Prix wildcard qualifications and that kind of thing. And then he comes to Armadale a week later and gets beat by Wobble and Juniors. But he's more incapable. So Piper and Wright stepping in there, and Jake Allen's another that probably a bit disappointed with his season. I was expecting more out of Jake this year, and one that's never really penciled Armadale down as one of his favourites. So I'm not going to say it certainly doesn't strengthen Scunthorpe, I wouldn't say, but I don't think it weakens them too much, missing those two guys. And as we've said before, you never like going into matches with guests, so there'll be a lot of work there for the rest of the Scunthorpe guys to get the team together and gee everyone up.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, especially when you end up with they're second and third in the Scunthorpe averages, so that's why they're entitled to guests for the rules this year. And Piper going in at number 5 is it's probably quite a big ask. And you've also got Jordan Palin, who, despite his average going down, has actually gone up into the main body of the team because Zane Kennedy's dropped even further. So, because they're a traditional Scunthorpe team, they're quite balanced all the way through. So other than young Connor, who we know is, I don't know how, does Connor Cole still classes young potentially?
To me and you, Davey does.
But yeah, the rest of the team is all finely balanced, and they're much a muchness apart from Ryan Douglas, and so it'll be interesting to see how they go on that sort of strength and depth that they try and go for. So it'll be another interesting challenge, especially for Kai and Paco in that middle order of our team. We know Paco's another good weekend in his Italian Championship. Yeah. He does seem to be threatening a lot better form, but he's still throwing in the odd last places and things like that when we don't need it. So hopefully that the boys will be able to kick on and get a decent score on Friday.
Yep, and of course we spoke about how crucial a match it is for the Monarchs. It's probably more so for Scunthorpe. I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dave, but looking at the fixtures remaining, Scunthorpe have less home matches left, I think, than Edinburgh do. So as it stands, both against Scunthorpe, well, certainly against Oxford, and more than likely against Scunthorpe, pending them picking up something on the road that you maybe wouldn't expect looking at the fixtures they've got left. If Edinburgh can keep a home clean sheet the rest of the way, then that might well be enough and probably would make us favourites. So Scunthorpe were the first ones to have a crack at that, and they'll be going for that. And one man that's definitely not missed on is young Connor Coles. We'll call him young, against me and Dave's age there. I caught up with him earlier in the week and sort of started off by asking him just how crucial it was this week, and how it could be a double dip for Scunthorpe if they could gain points and cost the Monarchs points.
I don't know what to follow on to that. We're obviously looking to get points away. I think it will help that I've had a few matches around Edinburgh now, but I know it's not going to be any easy task to go there and get the win, but we're obviously going to try our best.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned that they're obviously an Edinburgh rider in the past, so you'll come with confidence. Guys like Ryan Douglas flying everywhere, Simon Lambert having a great season. There's a lot of Armadale pedigree in that team, and it's a team that will be coming looking for the points. Yeah,
definitely. As long as we can make good starts, I think we're all capable of winning races there, and hopefully gives us the win by the end.
Yep. And then from your own point of view, obviously it's you have to maybe wait a little bit at the start of the season to get your place. Never nice to come in because of someone else getting injured, but you can't think about that. Your job is just to go out there and show that you should be in the championship team every year from the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I've only had one opportunity of starting this season with a championship club, and that was when I signed for Newcastle in 2017. But my performances weren't great, so that didn't last too long. But it's nice to be noticed that I am scoring pretty good in the National League at the minute, and I'm picking up a few points in the Championship here and there, so it's only going to get better, I assume.
And how is, what's the spirit like in this Scunthorpe camp? I mean, we know Edinburgh maybe quite a similar team in that there's a few Aussies in there, and those guys tend to get on pretty well. And then, experienced guys like Simon Lambert, as I've mentioned, Terry has been there, done that, ridden in World Cups and stuff. So it must be a good pitch to be in as well.
Yeah, it is. They'll make an effort to try and help you if you're struggling, and just G you on and have a chat about anything, just so you got good team spirit. And I'm enjoying every minute of riding with them.
Yep, and then of course we touched on how important it is to get the points on the board for the playoffs. The return match then on Sunday, so idea obviously a home win will be the minimum Scunthorpe will be looking for this weekend, to keep that proud home record going. We've seen you dismantle a lot of the guys towards the top of the league at the Eddie Wright Arena, and it'll be more of the same on Sunday as well.
Yeah, definitely. With the last few performances we've had at home, I can't see why we won't get all 3 league points on the Sunday, and we just want to try and turn them over on Friday as well.
Connor Cole was there, Dave. Nice enough to take the time. I think he was driving his daughter or his son somewhere there, so there's a wee bit of background noise, but I think we should be able to make out most of what Connor could say. And he's kind of touched on it himself. Scunthorpe Pits is a good place to be. It's a good team. He's looking to take this chance with both hands. It's you mentioned he has been about a while on it. He said himself, 2017, the only year he's ever started a season in the championship. So the more points he can get this year means the more likely it is to have a team berth next year. So him, along with the rest of the Scorpions, will be gunning for it on Friday. And Dave, you've done a bit of graphics wizardry here, so we'll pop the league table up as we speak here, and we can see just how important it is, that magic dotted line there. That's what we're all looking for, and you want to be above that, and that's where the Monarchs are just now. But you look at those points tallies on the right hand side and you can see just how tight it is.
Yeah, it's as I said already, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, I think REDCAR maybe just dropped into a wee bit after losing away to Birmingham last week, and Oxford I think maybe just tailing away, but so Scunthorpe are the crucial team that's just below us. That'll be desperate, and results either way for both teams this weekend will make a massive difference to that table and those end of season playoffs.
Yeah, so big match ahead, and as always, tickets are available now. edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, and buy tickets. There you go. We don't hide it. You can see it nice and in front and centre. For that, can pay cash at the gate as well, so that option is available. Or if you can't make it along, like all matches at Armadale, the match will be streamed. So again, it's edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, then click on the EMTV link, and that will get you through to buy your pass for that. Dave, well, it's been a fairly monumentous week for the Monarchs by all accounts. In years to come, we could look back on this as a historical week, and we want to keep that feel-good factor going on Friday. Big win is what everyone from the Monarchs persuasion is looking for, but of course, good speedway as well. And Scunthorpe always provide that when they come up. As we can show now, we go back to 2011. This was a Heat 13 of the clash, and you're looking at Kevin Wolbert, Craig Cook, David Howe, and Ben Wilson.
Heat 13, David Howe, Kevin Wolbert unbeaten, Ben Wilson and Craig Cook, who's also unbeaten. Howe away well, but look at Wolbert's swoop to the first corner, that was brilliant. And Cook's in the mix as well, but Howe's got into second and he's challenging Wolbert hard there, and he's gone ahead. Terrific bend there by Howe. Wolbert comes roaring back, but Howe holds him off. That was an intriguing first lap. Cook's in there as well, looking for a possible pass, but now that Howe's established, it won't be easy. Wolbert throwing himself around. Cook coming on that inside line as well. They're slightly getting in each other's way. Wolbert looks really threatening. Howe swings out. Oh, Wolbert just slightly locking up too much there, but can he get through here? Not quite. Oh, he's so hard into that corner. And he turns so tight. And I think Wolbert got it. I believe he got it. Terrific chase.
Well, more of the same on Friday required, Dave. That will send everyone home happy. The old saying was happiness is 40-38. I guess it's now 49-41.
Definitely this week.
Yeah, that's what the Monarchs will be aiming for as a minimum come Friday night. We'll be back afterwards with the Friday Focus, where you'll get all the action from both camps. And as always, we'll drop in a heat of the week. The boys will need to go some to beat last week's one. But until then, as always, tickets available, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk. Stream available, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk, EMTV. Cash at the gate available. Every way to come, Dave, because
Can we buy t-shirts and everything, the hospitality as well.
you want it all. You have it all. Club shop, pens, 50-50 draw, Lloyd's tea bar, you name it. Plenty of opportunities because, Dave, what do we like to say?
Friday night, Speedway night, bring it on, eh?
Friday night, Speedway night. We'll see you then. Thanks very much.